Welcome back, and thank you for joining me for this second part of Smart Screen Time. I'm Allison Baruti Sarbararia, and in this section, I'm going to be talking about guidelines around cell phones, tablets, and social media, and children's use of these devices. Screens are everywhere, and that's not a good or bad thing. That's just how it is. What our job is as parents and caregivers is to help our children successfully navigate through the world while keeping them safe and healthy. One way of doing that is to do exactly what you're doing today. Gather information that is evidence-based and then use that information to make decisions around screen time and social media that are right for you and your family, knowing what you know about your child and your family situation. Last section, I introduced the American Academy of Pediatrics recommendations for TV, and here they are modified slightly for cell phones and tablets. Again, infants should be avoiding the use of any screen devices until around 18 months, unless it is talking through a video to family or friends or an adult that's engaging the child. After that, it is recommended that if young children do use screens, that it is only with an adult who is interacting with the child. So this is true for children who are 18 to 24 months and also children who are 2 to 5 years old. And again, they should be interacting with media and screen devices around high quality content, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So as we saw for TV, quality and content matter. Apps and programs should be high quality, meaning that they should be age appropriate, so something that is relevant to the child's life and interesting to that aged child. They should be paced at a real life pace, so not sped up or jumping from one thing to another thing that would be unlikely to be able to occur in real life. And they should be modeling pro-social behaviors and or helping the child build skills such as letter recognition, number recognition, shapes, colors, emotion, labeling, things like that. Even problem solving would be an important skill to be working on. In addition to quality, it is important that an adult is interacting with the child, talking about what is going on and connecting it to the child's experiences. So remember from last time we talked about how children have poor symbolic representation, and they really need assistance from adults to connect what they're seeing on a screen to their own lives and to interpret that and understand it. Here are a few other things to consider. Watching shows or playing games on apps across different devices all count as media, which for young children is recommended to be limited. The American Academy of Pediatrics says around 1 hour of screen time across all devices, or whatever time that you have set and decided is appropriate for your family and your child based on their age. Remember that the recommendation is also around high quality, and most programs and apps have not been studied for educational or learning benefits. They may be marketed as educational, and they may suggest that children learn skills by using them, but very few of them have actually been studied for cognitive and developmental benefits for your child. So it's something that you as a parent need to kind of evaluate and decide, is this actually an educational show? Is my child actually learning something from watching this or playing this game? Another consideration is trying to avoid phones and tablets as a babysitter, and instead thinking about screen time on different devices as time you spend together with your child. Now, there may be times that you need to turn on the tablet or have your child use your cell phone while you cook dinner or to help you de-stress or for short periods of time, but think about most of the time that the child's on a phone or tablet or on a computer as time that you spend together with your child. And it's been studied that children who use cell phones and tablets more often are more likely to have temper tantrums, at least young preschool-age children. And a study found that moms who let their child use a cell phone while in a waiting area had children who are more likely to then throw temper tantrums compared to moms who otherwise entertain their child without using a cell phone or tablet. So it's just something to consider. Another consideration is when to let children have their own cell phones. A while ago, there was a campaign that encouraged parents to wait until 8th grade before giving children their own phones. So obviously this is ongoing debate, and it's something that really depends on your own situation and your child's peers, but something to consider and to research more into. I'm not aware of other studies that have really looked into this area, but if you think about maturity and ability to think about others and represent others, you want the child to be fairly mature in those skills. Want them to be able to regulate their own behavior fairly well, and know when enough is enough, when to log off or sign off, and how to set appropriate boundaries and guidelines for your child. And we'll talk a lot about this in the next few slides. Now we're going to look at social media. And again, it isn't all good or bad, but our goal as parents is to help our children to be literate in terms of social media. That is, we really want them to be able to think about social media and evaluate it critically, to think about the advantages and disadvantages of social media, and to make wise decisions. So really helping children to engage in these conversations and understand why there are guidelines around social media. Talk about the advantages of social media, how it can help connect people, help people stay in touch, help promote different ideas and movements, but also some of the problems of social media, such as sexting, cyberbullying, internet gaming addictions. So different areas that may be harmful, or ways that others can take advantage of a child on the internet or on social media. Also, it's important to follow the recommendations for physical activity and sleep of the American Academy of Pediatrics. So families should really think about, is my child getting enough physical activity in a day? Is my child getting enough sleep, and is it high quality sleep? And to make sure that screen time and social media aren't interfering with those. And if they are, such as if the child's staying up late on social media sites, to really talk about that and have a conversation about how to have a healthy mind and body. We really need to get the physical activity that's recommended each day and to get healthy sleep each day. And that's important for their development and growth. Also, something to consider is having screen-free time. So setting up times as a family where there is no social media or there's screen-free time. And think about places and settings in which this is going to occur, such as at the dinner table, in the bedroom, or during academic activities. So this means adults too. So if you say no screens at the dinner table, then that means mom and dad need to put down their phones as well. And modeling is very important. So you as the parent really have a large role in what your child does in terms of social media use and screen time use, because they're looking to you as a model. So modeling healthy screen time behaviors is really important to help teach your child healthy screen time behaviors. Something else that's important, and modeling plays a big role in this, is how to treat people, both online and offline. So there's been this discrepancy between how people are treated online and how they're treated offline. So things that we would say online, we would probably never say to a person's face offline. And that's a big discrepancy. And so really teaching children how to be responsible and respectful. And one saying that I like to apply to this is, let your words pass through 3 gates. Are they true? Are they necessary? And are they kind? And you as a parent need to model this for your kids. So think about how you treat others and if it's the way you treat them is true, necessary, and kind. And maybe there's another saying that works better for your family, and that's perfectly fine as well, but really emphasizing that and modeling that for your child. Finally, have clear guidelines and sit down with your child and come up with these guidelines together. Have your child have some input into the guidelines and then apply the guidelines to everyone in the family. So including the parents, older siblings, younger siblings, etc. And if guidelines are slightly different based on age, explaining why they are different to children and helping them understand that using social media and using devices is a privilege and that it's something that needs to be used smartly. As I mentioned in the last slide, the best way for children to learn about social media and screens is from their parents. So another note on social media is to think before you post something on social media about your child. You might think that it's cute or funny, but it might be embarrassing to your child. And a survey revealed that most children wish that their parents had consulted them before posting something about them on social media. So thinking about this from a place of respecting your child, really thinking about what it is you're posting about them and if it is something that could make them feel uncomfortable, and really asking their permission before you post things, and helping children to explain that once something's posted, it's very hard to unpost something or take that post down without others seeing it. As I stated in the last section about TV, you really need to take in this information and then decide what it is you want to do with it. There's not specifically right or wrong things. It's just what works for your family and what is best for your child at your child's particular age and knowing what you know about your child. So one way of doing this is to create a family media plan. And if you go to the American Academy of Pediatrics website, they have a way, or they have a template set up that you can walk through to create a plan for your family. And it's based on your child's age. So you go through and enter your child's age, and then you fill out this template together with your child, if that's appropriate based on your child's age. And it gives you guidelines about what you should be thinking about, what you may want to consider, where you want to set guidelines. So it's a nice tool to use, and it's free. And as always, feel free to email at positiveparentingperspectives@gmail.com if you have any questions. You can also visit the website www.positiveparentingperspectives.com for more video series and for more information. Thank you for joining me today.